May I have your attention, please? We are about to begin in 5 minutes, so just make sure that you put your mobile phone on the silent mode, and we will begin shortly. Thank you. May we start the opening session now? Yes, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the dialogue on sustainable palm oil supply chain in the IMT-GT Subregion. My name is Kanoktip Wachara Lekhagun from the Ministry of Agriculture and Cooperatives, Thailand, as your MC for today. Without further ado, we will proceed to the opening session. We are honored to have all of you here at this important dialogue organized by the Center for the IMT-GT Subregional Cooperation and supported by the Working Group on Agriculture and Agro-Based Industry as part of our ongoing efforts to promote sustainable, inclusive, and competitive palm oil development in our region. Today, we are gathered here to exchange ideas, share best practices, and explore collaboration opportunities to strengthen the sub-regional palm oil supply chain. We are pleased to have with us stakeholders from government agencies, industries, academia, smallholders associations, and international organizations. We hope this dialogue will inspire meaningful cooperation. Let us begin our opening session. First, we would like to invite Mr. Amri Bukhairi Bakhtia, Director of CIMT, to deliver the welcoming remarks. Please.
Thank you, Kak Kungkap. Honorable Ms. Praya Savijinda, Chair of the Working Group on Agriculture and Agro-Based Industry from the Office of Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Agriculture and Cooperatives, Kingdom of Thailand, Mr. Kunturo Boga Andri, Director of Downstreaming of Estate Crops Product, Ministry of Agriculture, Republic of Indonesia, also our Chair of the IMT-GT Palm Oil Corporation, distinguished members of IMT-GT PIT on Palm Oil Corporation, Working Group on Agriculture and Agro-Based Industry, distinguished representatives from the Government of Indonesia, Malaysia and Thailand, of course our distinguished speakers and moderators. I think we are delighted to have quite an excellent group of expert and industry leaders in the palm oil sector here with us, so we're very thankful for your participation here today. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, Sawadee Krap. On behalf of the Center for IMT-GT Subregional Corporation, it is my great pleasure to welcome all of you to the dialogue on sustainable palm oil supply chain in the IMT-GT Subregion here in the beautiful city of Bangkok. This event, held in conjunction with the 18th Working Group Meeting on Agriculture and Agro-Based Industry, provides a strategic platform to propel forward our shared vision for a more inclusive, sustainable and resilient palm oil ecosystem. First and foremost, I would like to extend our sincere appreciation to the Ministry of Agriculture and Cooperative of the Kingdom of Thailand for facilitating the organization of this important dialogue, and to all stakeholders, members of the PIT on Palm Oil Corporation, the Working Group on Agriculture, as well as all the industry players and private sector, and also from the government for your valuable presence and commitment on this important initiative. Ladies and gentlemen, this dialogue aims to provide a platform for stakeholders across the IMT-GT sub-region to exchange views, share experiences, and explore collaborative actions in enhancing the sustainability and inclusivity of our palm oil supply chain. Palm oil, as many of us here are fully aware, is one of the most strategic commodities in our sub-region. Together, Indonesia, Malaysia, and Thailand, of course, are the top 3 palm oil producing countries in the world, account for nearly 87% of global palm oil production. This sector is not only vital for our economies, but also supports the livelihoods of millions of people, especially smallholder farmers across the sub-region. In light of its importance, today's dialogue serves as a timely initiative to support the work of the IMT-GT Project Implementation Team on Palm Oil Corporation. I think the PIT is working hard towards the finalization of an MOU between the 3 countries, and we certainly look forward to that. It is our aspiration that this platform can spark meaningful discussions and identify concrete forward-looking initiatives that the PIT can consider in their future work ahead. We believe that this dialogue can also ignite new ideas and synergies that can contribute to strengthening the sustainability of the IMT-GT palm oil supply chain while ensuring no one is left behind, particularly our smallholder farmers. In moving forward this vision, we must recognize that sustainability is not just an environmental imperative, but also a socio-economic one. As global standards and consumer expectations evolve, our sub-region must proactively adapt and innovate to remain competitive. This includes embracing traceability systems, adopting climate-smart agriculture practices, and ensuring fair and equitable participation of smallholders, women, and indigenous communities in the value chain. Strengthening partnerships among governments, the private sector, civil society, and research institutions will be critical in achieving these goals. By working together, we can not only elevate the IMT-GT palm oil sector's global standing, but also ensure that it becomes a benchmark for responsible and inclusive agriculture development. Let us use this opportunity to build stronger sub-regional cooperation, share knowledge and innovation, and jointly pursue a future where our palm oil sector thrives sustainability and inclusivity. Once again, thank you for being part of this initiative, and I wish you all of a fruitful and impactful dialogue ahead. Thank you very much. Kak Kung Kap.
Thank you, Mr. Amri, for the warm and insightful remarks. Next, we are honored to invite Ms. Praya Sowet-Jinda, Chair of the IMT-GT WGAA and Director of the Bureau of Foreign Agricultural Affairs, Ministry of Agriculture and Cooperatives, Thailand, to deliver the opening remark, please.
Chair of the IMT-GT PIT Palm Oil Corporation, Mr. Kuntoro Boga Andri. Director of Downstreaming of Estate Crop Product, Ministry of Agriculture, Republic of Indonesia, Mr. Amri Bukhari Baktir. Director Center of the IMT-GT Subregion, Subregional Corporation. Distinguished members of the IMT-GT PIT Palm Oil Corporation, distinguished representative from the government of Indonesia, Malaysia, and Thailand, distinguished speakers and moderators. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Sawadee ka. It is my great pleasure and honor to welcome you to the dialogue on the sustainable palm oil supply chain in the IMT-GT Subregion. On behalf of the Ministry of Agriculture and Cooperatives of the Kingdom of Thailand, and as a chair of IMT-GT Working Group on Agriculture and Agro-Based Industry, I am truly pleased to witness a strong and active engagement from across the subregion to support this important agenda. At the outset, I'd like to express my sincere appreciation to the Center for IMT-GT Subregional Corporation for initiating and organizing this important dialogue. This platform offers a valuable opportunity for the IMT-GT project implementation team on palm oil cooperation to engage meaningfully with a broader circle of stakeholders, including government agencies, the private sectors, smallholder communities, and international partners. Today's discussion marks a significant step forward in our collective efforts to advance palm oil cooperation within the subregion. As one of the IMT-GT's key economic sectors, palm oil has the potential to drive inclusive growth, strengthen value chains, and enhance our collective sustainability commitments. However, this potential requires sustained collaborative actions and a strong sense of shared responsibility among all stakeholders. It is my hope that this dialogue will not only deepen our understanding of common challenges and opportunities, but also lead to more actionables and initiatives under the PIT framework. By fostering stronger alignment among our member countries, we can build a resilient and competitive palm oil supply chain that benefits all, especially for our smallholder communities. Once again, I extend my sincere appreciation to CIMT and to all participants for your commitment and valuable presence today. I wish us all a productive and insightful dialogue. Thank you. ขอบคุณค่ะ
Thank you very much, Ms. Praya, for your inspiring opening remarks. Next, we will move to the photo sessions. While we prepare the stage, may I request the online participants to open your camera for capture, please. Next, may I invite the Director of CIMT, the Chair of the IMT-GT WGAA, all moderators and all speakers to be on the stage for a group photo, please. We'll take 2 shots of the photo. The first shot will be formal manners. Now for the second shot, could you please put your hand together in a form of IMT-GT triangle and give a big smile to the camera, please. Thank you very much. Could you please remain on the stage? Now may I invite all the rest of participants to join the photo session on the stage, please. Yes, for the first shot, please give a big smile to the camera. Thank you. And then for the second shot, yes, the IMT-GT triangle. Thank you, everyone. And please return to your seat as we prepare for the first session. We now proceed to session 1, focus on strengthening the sub-regional palm oil supply chain for sustainability. May I invite the moderator and the speakers to be on the stage, please. First, Dr. Kanokwan Satsawat Tesha. Second, Dr. Herdrajat Nathawijaya. Dr. Surina Binti Ismail. And the last one, Dr. Mohammed Afisin bin Mohammed Tajuddin. Now let me introduce the short bio of the moderator and the speakers. The first one, Dr. Kanokwan Satsawat-Tesha, the moderator, is the project director for sustainable palm oil production and procurement for climate adaptation and mitigation at the GIZ Thailand. With over a decade of experience, she leads initiatives to transform Thailand's palm oil sector toward climate-smart, sustainable practices, working closely with governments, farmers, and the private sector. She holds a PhD in environmental systems analysis from Wageningen University and has published extensively on sustainable palm oil. Next is the first speaker, Dr. Hedrajat Nathawijaya. Dr. Nathawijaya holds a Master of Science from Ghent University and a PhD from the University of the Philippines, Los Baños. He has played a pivotal role in the development of the Indonesian Sustainable Palm Oil, or ISPO systems, since its inception in 2011 and has held leadership positions in Indonesia's Ministry of Agriculture, including Director of Agribusiness Development and Perennial Crops. Currently, he serves as a professional with the ISPO Committee Secretariat. The second speaker is Dr. Surina Binti Ismail. Dr. Ismail is the Chief Sustainability Officer at IOI Corporation, overseeing sustainability initiatives across the group's plantation and resource-based divisions. She has extensive experience in corporate sustainability, focusing on climate change, biodiversity, labor rights, and aligning sustainability with strategic business priorities. Dr. Ismail holds a Bachelor of Science in Chemistry, a Master of Science in Organic Polymer, and a PhD in Bioorganic Polymer. And the last one, the third speaker, is Dr. Mohammed Hafizin bin Mohammed Tajuddin. Mr. Tajuddin is the CEO of the Malaysian Sustainable Palm Oil, or MSPO, bringing extensive experience in strategic policy development, regulatory affairs, and business growth. Previously, he held key roles at ByteDance, or TikTok, Touch and Go, and the Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission, where he led initiatives in online safety, digital economy growth, and responsible technology integration. Now, may I hand the floor to Dr. Kanokwan, the moderator, for session 1, please. The floor is yours.
Thank you for the introduction, and thank you for the invitation, and very good morning to ladies and gentlemen in this room. It's my really honor to be the moderator of this session, and certainly I understand that we all here are on the same page. We understand that how challenging of sustainable palm oil practices that can help us to protect the environment, to support local community, and also to boost up the economic our viability. It's really challenging, and we all know that this kind of journey is one organization or entity cannot do it alone. So that's why we all are here, try to tackle and find a way that how we could be collaborate to improve the sustainable practice in the IMT-GT Subregion altogether. And thank you for all speakers for being here. And today in this session, we will hear about how each speaker going to share you the concrete initiative by the government, by the private sector, and other like stakeholder involved in the sector. And may I invite the first speaker, who Mr. Dr. Hedrajat Nathawijaya. He will present the first topic to share everyone about importance of the harmonization of the sustainability standard across the subregions. By aligning our national standard, we can create a more transparent and efficient market that could be able to reward all the producers in the subregions. Please please join me to welcoming Dr. Hydrajet.
Thank you, moderator. Good morning, everyone. Please allow me to deliver my presentation. Since time is short, I have 7 slides, so I have to run fast. This is our topic: how can harmonization of sustainability standards support the palm oil sector competitiveness? Next slide, please. Understanding sustainability standard challenge to harmonization, key similar and differences. This study for this was conducted a few years ago between RSPO and ISPO. All aim to promote sustainable practice, address environmental concerns like deforestation, and ensure legal compliance. National standard, ISPO and MSPO, are mandatory within their respective countries, while RSPO is voluntary. ISPO, for instance, has strong point in legal compliance framework, robust implementation, segregation model availability, and strong governance through National Accreditation Committee. It also prohibits conversion of natural forests and peatland. However, challenge insists in ISPO regarding alignment with international deforestation definition, like UDR, cut-off dates, traceability limitation, geolocation, harvest rate, and legality verification gap, particularly for smallholder. Next. Challenges in promoting mutual recognition, harmonization, or conversion of national standard. There are differing interpretation of sustainability and deforestation. ISPO currently relies on Indonesia regulation without fully adopting UDR aligned forest definition or deforestation cut-off dates. Variation in scope and rigor, while ISPO has strong legal framework, gap persists in legality verification for taxation, trade, labor rights, anti-corruption, especially among smallholder. Traceability limitation, absence of robust digital traceability infrastructure, including geolocation, data transfer, and harvest data documentation, hinder cross-border recognition, and smallholder integration barriers. Complexity and lack of support for smallholders in meeting certification recruitment pose a significant challenge to consistent application across the subregion. Next. Toward regional harmonization and alignment. Step under IMT-GT framework to address challenges. It can be done. One is establish a regional reference framework or baseline criteria. This can align national sustainability scheme while respecting those domestic contexts. It would involve integrating land legality, traceability, and deforestation-free benchmark, and harmonizing principle with international expectation like UDR. Second, technical exchange and joint benchmarking exercise. These are crucial among standard, SSPO, and also MSPO to foster mutual understanding and convergence. This can involve sharing best practice in outer qualification and audit processes, areas where ISPO already demonstrate robustness. Engage buyer, trader, and downstream industry. This recognition of harmonized standard can significantly increase market access and credibility. Mutual recognition studies are outreach with key buyer countries like EU, UK, US, China are vital. Next slide. Specific activities for harmonization. ISPO standard reform and legal alignment, integrated international forest and legality definition like UDR compliant cut-off of dates and geolocation rule, and develop clear protocol for legality verification across all ISPO holders, including documentation for land, right, labor, and tax compliance. And institutionalization and oversight, strengthen or create permanent ISPO governance body to ensure oversight, enforcement, and transparency. This module could be blueprint for regional coordination body. Next. Promoting adoption, compliance, and future outlook. How IMT-GT can help promote adoption and compliance among smallholders while avoiding additional financial or administrative burden. It can make ticket as one is simplified procedure and tailored modules, create accessible ISPO certification module specifically designed for smallholder, addressing their unique challenge. Technical assistance and financial support, establish dedicated program for training, mentorship, legal assistance, and financial incentive, including grant or subsidies for technology adoption. Group certification models enable and support group certification to reduce individual burden, digital tool adapted to rural context, and embed support for legal land registration and geotagging. This is crucial for smallholder to meet legality requirement and improve traceability. Next. Conclusion and way forward. One is harmonization of sustainability standard within the IMT-GT Subregion is critical for enhancing the competitiveness and global market access for our palm oil sector. By leveraging existing strength, addressing identified gaps, especially in traceability and small inclusion, and fostering close collaboration, we can build a more resilient and credible palm oil supply chain. The collective commitment of IMT-GT members, supported by international partners like FAO, will be instrumental in achieving a globally recognized and sustainable palm oil industry. Next. Thank you very much. That's all. 10 minutes.
Thank you very much for a very precise and informative presentation. And he is really time controller. We still have 3 minutes left and for his presentation, but too fast. No, not too fast, but it's just the right time. What I could pick up from his presentation, he already highlighted a lot of important key messages, including the harmonizing sustainability standard in the region is pretty crucial for improving competitiveness and to get more recognition from the global market, to create more better global market access of the palm oil sector in this region. And certainly in doing so, IMT-GT is really play a crucial role to foster collaboration and tackling on the current gap. For example, he already mentioned the current gap on the traceability limitation and most importantly on the smallholder adoption. This kind of collaboration or to foster and unlock the potential of smallholder should be on not create more burdens to smallholder. This is really important to create more engagement and adoption in, when it comes to smallholder. And thank you very much to also save some time and save your question for later. I would like to move to the next presentation, to the second topic, which will be presented by Dr. Surina Ismail. Apologize if I pronounce your name incorrectly. She will share with us the ways how to enhance the traceability and transparency. Knowing of the origin where our palm oil is originate is not just about the compliance or the EUDR or international sustainability standard. It's all about building trust, right, to the consumer to ensure accountability through our entire supply chain. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Surina Ismail. Please.
Thank you so much. First and foremost, I would like to thank the CIMT for inviting me. I think that's really incredible that you are, engaging with the private sectors, because I believe the private sectors are one of the ones who's going to be implementing a lot of the sustainability issues being raised in this forum. So I was given the topic strategies to improve traceability, transparency, and efficiency in the supply chain of course, I will go through this through the IOI approach, leveraging on our experience. But I think it's a good thing for us to exactly, introduce what is IOI and IOI corporations. Next, please. So we are a leading global integrated sustainable palm oil group. We have an upstream and downstream. So in other words, it's not just a plantation, we are also a manufacturing facility. We have over 28,000 employees. So that's a lot of employees, and and social issues are very much up front and center for us to address. We have a planted area of over 176,000 hectares. And we have operating units in Malaysia and Indonesia. So, this is a very good forum for us to be involved with. Next, please. So we have a global presence in 8 countries across 4 continents. We export our oleochemical and our commodities. We have a very strong, responsible, and sustainable practices. This is what part and parcel of what IOI is all about. We are about global and sustainable presence. We are committed to the no deforestation, no new planting on peat, no social exploitation since 2016. And we are a very strong proponent of conservation, protection of our high conservation value and high carbon stock areas. We have a palm biotech, which is a leading tissue culture facility. This is a very important function because it helps us to increase the yield per hectare in our estates, and this is of course part and parcel of sustainable practices. We are 100% Malaysian plantation for both RSPO, MSPO, and ISPO certified. Recently we got our ISPO, so we are all certified on all levels. Next, please. So this is an integrated value chain of our company. We have the plantation level where we have all our land and breeding, seedlings, plantation, producing, engineered wood panels. We are producing oleochemicals. We generate solar and cogeneration plant, and also specialty and oil fats free. So you can see that our facilities are very strong in terms of circular economy. We have, for example, looking at our oil palm trunks, we have now producing palm wood, which we are using for engineered wood panels and construction materials for furnitures, and we feel that this is a very strong move towards making sure that our biomass are being used in a value-added manner. And I think this is something that's really important because throughout Thailand, Malaysia, and Indonesia, we have a lot of biomass being produced. Currently, biomass is regarded as a waste, which to me is the wrong definition. And this comes to the point of what Dr. Hedrajat has said, that definitions matter, and we need to work as a corporation within 3 countries that produces a lot of palm oil to make sure that we get to say what the definitions mean. Next, please. So looking at supply chain management, I think a lot of the challenges have been voiced by Dr. Harajat. Definitely the cooperation that you have between corporations, small, medium enterprises, civil societies, governments, and their agencies are very, very important to meet the issues at hand. So the source of the oil is really important. It's very difficult to find because of the fact that there's mapping issues. Now, I know that in Malaysia, we have the MSPO, and it has been quite effective in doing a lot of the mappings. It's a matter of whether or not this can be shared, whether this can be, can be used by the private sectors as well as by the smallholders and all players in between. Capacity, technologies, and cost involved. Of course, this is going to be expensive. The technologies like, for example, satellite mapping, that's going to be very expensive. Capacities, understanding what is sustainability, especially for the smallholders, is an issue. Meeting requirements, capacity building. How do we make sure that people are aware of what sustainability is all about. How do we undergo the supply chain so that it can be traceable? Meeting regulations and legality. We have an issue of legality. It will be an issue for us to present that this is a source that is legitimate. So legality is extremely important. So a lot of the certification makes sure that legality is up front and center, and this one we cannot compromise. But what are the opportunity? If all of the people within the sectors participate, we have all this data verified. Can you imagine what we can do with this? We can make sure that our source are legal. We can make sure that the source are being done without any harassment, any issues of forced labor. We don't have any issues in terms of deforestation. So it addresses all the 3 pillars of ESG, environmental, social, and governance. And this is very important for investors. So for us, investors means that there will be more money coming into our sector, and that means that we will be able to expand further. Uplifting all the sectors. This addresses the 3 Ps, the people, the planet, and the prosperity. So market access, when we have all the sectors within the supply chain are being addressed, that means everybody is able to address the issue. It makes it easier for us to go and access markets like the EU, like United States. So the other thing is that when all this are being addressed, you can address risk management, because we know where the issue is. We will know that at this sector we need to do this, and therefore the risk needs to be put, the risk management can be put in place. Next, please. I might run over. So engaging stakeholders. I think it's a very important part of factors to consider. Complexity of the supply chain is extremely important. You need to make sure that all players are involved. I think Mr. Hafiz will speak a little bit more on that, so I'll move away from that. Understanding limitations of some of the stakeholders. The big players are able to do a lot of resources being put in place, but the small players, they have difficulty understand what is high carbon stock, what is high conservation values, what is sustainability. So we need to understand this and therefore reach to them in a manner in which it makes sense to them. Availability of human resources. We need to have people who will go down to the ground to engage with all players. We need technology, we need funds. These are all crucial in order for us to make sure that we can address the issue of supply chain. Outcomes and expectation. All within the supply chain must understand the roles of these players and their impacts on the supply chain issue. You need to be aware of the complexity of the requirement, who are the actors who can do the supply chain and which one cannot. So you cannot expect a smallholder to know what a big player like IOF can do. So you cannot, for example, expect even the medium players, and I think this is a part, everybody concentrates on small players, small holders, forget about the medium players. They are very important. They are like the middle child. They are neither old or neither young. So they get neglected, but they are a very big part in which we need to address. Limitations of human resource in terms of the mapping, data availability, funds for the SMEs to address the traceability aspects. Next, please. So I'm going to go quickly about the sustainability approach. We have a set of strategies, supply chain mapping, assessment and compliance of the ESG, and stakeholder engagement. So there's a whole series of stages that you need to address. You need to do the mapping, because if you don't know where it's coming from, you cannot address the issue. Assessments, we need to make sure that it follows the issues faced by our suppliers. We need to have areas of intervention. You cannot address everything. So we need to look at targeted, data-driven strategies, and you formulate them to address the suppliers. Stakeholder engagement, I've talked a lot about it. It's really important. Next, please. I have 1 minute. Can I go 3 minutes and take over his money? Next, please. So we have a due diligence system, and I think this is something that we would like to share with you. We have a quality management system where we introduce all the policies, the standard operating procedures, the audits, the certification system. And this is important because it lays the foundation of how you want to address your due diligence process. So once we have that, we also now have a supplier database. This is important. In order for us to address our supply chain, we need to know who we are selling, who are the source of our suppliers. We need to know their documentation in terms of their legality. We have to evaluate whether or not they're able to meet our requirements of forced labor indicators. Do they meet the requirements of no deforestation? And we have to collect all the additional information required by our customers. This is important. So we have a supply database. We have what we call the IOI ESG digitalization platform. This is a digitalization platform where we put in all our information in order for us to reduce error. So risk assessment, we have satellite monitoring, and this is something that we work to make sure that deforestation is not occurring where our suppliers are. We identify the level of the risk, whether this is an area close to a high conservation area, close to a peat area, and also to identify the risks where they are, and what are the risks that are associated with the suppliers. So in this aspect, MSPO has been excellent in helping us do that traceability. Because through MSPO, and I'll allow Ms. Hafiz to talk further about it, we are able to do a better identification of our supply chain. Risk mitigation, through our MSPO trace as well as RSPO supply chain certification, we can identify all the risks associated, either social or environment, and thereby give our mitigation options. So this is our due diligence system. Next, please. That's it. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much for a very informative and interesting presentation. And she already highlighted a lot of like several key success factors. For example, like acknowledging limitation and challenges, involvement and engagement of the actors along the supply chains, especially is very challenging when you have to deal with SME and smallholders once again. And she also shared that the most important one, you have to start with mapping key stakeholder at the very first step. If you can map all the key stakeholders, then you can know what are the intervention and action that you need to take in the future. And she also shared a very successful digital DDG, due diligence system that she implemented in the IOI group, which also involved risk assessment and mitigation action. These also importantly have to highlight that is need all stakeholder on board and commitment to share information and taking the action to tackle all the limitation and challenges. And so again, please keep your questions for a bit longer, and then let's hear more. Moving to the next presentation, to finally the final speaker, Mr. Muhammad Hafazint. He will present and recommend how can we leverage the IMT-GT economic corridors, how we're going to strengthening sustainable palm oil supply chain in the sub-regions. And throughout this leverage, we also would like to hear that how can we optimize costs, perhaps minimize the environmental footprint and impacts, and perhaps how could be able to create more efficient and resilient industry for everyone. So please join me to welcoming Mr. Hafazint.
Thank you, Dr. Kanokwan. I think being the third speaker has a lot of advantages, because I would be able to then respond to what have been shared by earlier speakers, Dr. Hadrajat and Dr. Surina, so that we can have more like a discussion rather than a presentation, at least from my end. So before I go into the slides, I think the slides, I will not go through all the slides because I have 17 slides, but I'll try to create into a discussion of sort. So I would like to address the topic of today's discussion, strengthening the sub-regional palm oil sector's competitiveness. And the main question is, how can harmonization of sustainability standards support the palm oil sector's competitiveness? So the answer to me, from MSPO point of view and from Malaysia's industry point of view, is very straightforward. We don't have to always harmonize standards between RSPO, MSPO, ISPO. We can coexist as long as we have a common direction. And the common direction is, or are, we must make sure that all our standards align with the global demand. It must align with the global regulations, and it must respond and meet the demand of the market and commercial realities, as what Dr. Surina said. I think oftentimes we thought that when we have a platform, we need a uniform framework. No, we can exist independently as long as we achieve towards a common goal. So the purpose of my presentation is to share MSPO's experience on how we have gone through the journey to make sure that MSPO could align with the global demand of buyers, could meet with the global regulation, and could respond to the commercial realities, as what Dr. Surina mentioned. And throughout my presentation, I can also share some of the work that MSPO has done that could respond or resonate to some of the suggestions, great suggestions by Dr. Hedrajat, especially on the benchmarking, technical alignment. So something that we have done, especially on EUDR, something that I can share further. So in summary, last point, before I go into the slide, what can we expect from this platform? Number one is a platform of sharing. Sharing of what we have done, but also learning some ideas what others are doing. So it creates a very healthy loop of strategic planning. That's number one. And number two, we often think that cooperation and alignment we thought it's a status quo. We thought that we would always do that by default, but no. Efforts, like Dr. Surina said, must be really put in so that we know what's the outcome of that we wanted to achieve, the policies. And yes, eventually, all the collaboration, all the discussions that we are having today must be driven to a policy level. So I think we are lucky to have policymakers within our group, for example, colleagues from Malaysian Palm Oil Board, the regulator, colleagues from Ministry of Commodity and Plantations. So I think that's the overview or key messages that I would like to share. So with having that in mind, I'll just go through slightly to share what we have been doing to respond to the element of harmonizations and alignment with the global regulations. The next slide. So I think I can skip this slide. So I think we are all familiar with that. I think this slide is very important. When we discuss about sustainability, we must start with certification. So be it MSPO, ISPO, or RSPO, it doesn't matter. Because what is the most important thing is that we must be able to respond to the regulatory alignment, responding to global market demand, support climate and sustainability goals, upholding social responsibility, and empower smallholders. So I think these are the key goals that we must achieve, no matter what route that we take. Or even if, for example, my colleague from Surat Thani, let's say they wanted to come up with their own standards, so be it. We can coexist as long as we achieve these goals. So next slide. Introduction to MSPO, I think we can skip this, but next slide, please. Sorry, previous slide. What the most important thing is that one feature that we are glad that we have is that the certification process is conducted by independent third party. This is a very strong element. So my advice is, if anyone is developing standards, for example, colleagues from Surat Thani, please make sure that you involve independent certification body from the beginning. So in this case, MSPO has 23 accredited certification bodies, including Control Union, Bureau Veritas, BSI. So these independent accredited certification body would give the much needed validation on your entire system and processes that would then meet the demand of our commercial the industry, then would meet the global regulation as well. So next slide. Again, like I mentioned, the key to sustainability certification is that you must make sure it responds to the global demand. So for example, MSPO 2.0, we have revised and enhanced. For example, we introduced a cutoff date of 31st December 2019, which aligns with EUDR. We enforce legality, including land titles and land ownership, transparency and traceability. So under the old standards, traceability was voluntary. But under the revised standards, we make it mandatory. So again, as a result, that benefits the peers from the industry and also meets the inclusion of smallholders when bigger players would like to include them in the international supply chain. And the most important thing as well is the alignment with ILO standards and forced labor indicators. Next slide. Okay, I've mentioned about this. So these are some of the certification bodies that we work with to provide the credibility. Next slide. Again, like I mentioned, certification standards or certification or sustainability efforts that we do, we must make sure it aligns with the ongoing demand. So for example, under the MSPO 2.0, we make sure that it supports SDGs 2030. We introduce greenhouse gas calculation, cut-off date, as I mentioned, and high conservation value approach, HCV. And of course, we know that currently the demand is going towards HCS, high carbon stock. So as we strengthen further the MSPO framework, we already know what are the next goals. So for example, for greenhouse gas calculation, we already covered scope 1 and scope 2. But we know that the industry wants scope 3. So these are the next enhancements that we're working on. So key point is evolution and respond, the ability to respond to the global demand is a must for all of us. And then again, for social responsibility, we introduce social impact assessment and labor rights protection. And next slide. I think, again, this is also important. To have a strong sustainability framework, you must make sure that it applies across the board. And of course, with independent smallholders, organized smallholders, plantations, and palm oil mills. And only recently, beginning 1st of July, the regulator, Malaysian Palm Oil Board, has made it mandatory that all dealers, the middlemen or the connectors, must also be certified by MSPO. This would solve the gap or the traceability gap or supply chain gap, so that once everyone is MSPO certified, you can get a full level traceability. Again, that would help our industry to be able to respond to the global demand, including the EUDR. Next slide. MSPO recognition and certification, MSPO certification and recognition, this is important, as I mentioned. The first one that we'd like to share is that MSPO, we have engaged the International Trade Center Standard Maps, a joint agency by United Nations and WTO. So MSPO work with the Ministry of Plantations and Department of Standards Malaysia and the ITC. We spent 18 months to conduct a technical benchmarking, and once we fulfill that requirement, now MSPO is listed on the ITC together with the RSPO, among others, and ISCC. So what it means is that the ITC Standard Maps is a depository of 300 most credible sustainability standards, and being there would give an assurance to global buyers that MSPO is a good and strong standard that could facilitate trade. And the second one is that because the fact that we work with certification bodies like BSI and Control Union, MSPO certified entities now can be searched and can be verified on the platform of International Accreditation Forum Search. So if an entity is MSPO certified, in addition to checking the status on MSPO website, any international buyer could go to the IAF Search to verify the status of the certification. And I'll just jump to the next two slides because time is up. Next slide. Again, MSPO now is being recognized by the MIFTA countries, Liechtenstein, Iceland, Norway, and Switzerland under the Direct Free Trade Agreement, which means that they acknowledge MSPO is the enabler for sustainable palm oil that would enjoy good tariff under the trade. And the most important thing, next slide, is this. I think, next slide, please. Dr. Hedrojat, I just would like to share this. So MSPO conducted a joint benchmarking or gap analysis or benchmarking with the European Forest Institute. So this project is funded by the EU. So under this project, the report is available online, so please feel free to read. It identifies the areas where MSPO is aligned with EUDR, and also some areas where the gaps exist. So this has been a very fruitful exercise, because based on this exercise, we started addressing the gaps. For example, they mentioned that dealers are not yet mandated to comply with MSPO as of last year, but now, as of 1st July, we have solved that. Traceability is limited in some areas, so we have enhanced the traceability requirement. And another area is on polygon mapping for EUDR. So now, thanks to our regulator, Malaysian Palm Oil Board, MPOB has come up with a system to provide free mapping for all smallholders in Malaysia. So I think that is a very massive milestone. So in the end, I think by the end of the year, we hope to conduct another round of assessment with European Forest Institute, again funded by the EU, to see whether we have closed all the gaps. But I completely agree with what Dr. Hedrajat mentioned. We need a constant technical benchmarking so that we know where we stand and what we need to do next. And let's go to the last slide. Yes. So our commitment on regional progress, our next step is this. Technical benchmarking support, we are open for any benchmarking exercise, training and capacity building that's given. So if any help is needed on how to develop a credible standards, the process, and how to work with certification bodies, we are more than happy to assist. And digital traceability system, we have EMSPO system, so which could bring us to corridor-based pilot projects. I think this is one area that we could try as well. So for example, the cross-border movement of FFBs, of course we'll need to check on the regulation side, whether it's even doable, but maybe in a sandbox environment, this is something that we could explore. So I'll pause here, and thank you very much for inviting me.
Thank you very much for a very interesting and very informative again presentation, and he highlights a lot of successful story of the MSPO, and even offer that the example of the MSPO can be shared with other countries who are also looking for some key steps, right? How to get global recognition, to meeting with the client demand globally, and certainly how to make the standard become like international recognized sustainability standard. And we have about, let's say, 10 minutes for question and answers. I don't know whether I should start or I should pick up some questions from the floor. Maybe I start from the audience first, no? And then if there is none, I will start with my question list. Please. At the back side first, from the hand, and then come to the back, yes.
Thank you. My name is Hafiz from CIMT. Thank you very much for the presentation, for all the speakers. They are very insightful and informative. My question is rather directed to Dr. Surina with regard to the from private sectors. I just would like to understand the current and existing supply chain mapping in the region. Whether we know the three countries are the largest producers of palm oil, but actually how deep and how integrated is the collaboration between the three countries, especially between the private sectors? Whether the condition where I don't know, certain palm oil product is produced, I mean the raw materials coming from maybe from Indonesia and then refined in Malaysia, and then I don't know, this supply chain, whether this exists, how is the current condition? Because this is also related to the next step, the standardization. Because I don't know whether the three countries have how harmonized is the standards between the three countries, and how is the recognitions worldwide, the recognition of the standard, the certification from the three countries, and the acceptance of the three countries' certification worldwide. in the global market. That may be my first question. Thank you.
Thank you for the questions. It's a very difficult question. So we are mostly in Malaysia. We have some concession in Indonesia. So a lot of our suppliers, a lot of our customers actually prefer to purchase from the Malaysian side simply because the traceability is stronger, the legality issue is less. But what we have done with our concession in Indonesia is the ISPO. It's specifically for suppliers within Indonesia itself. Because Indonesia itself has a very strong domestic demand. So there is not a strong need for us to look into trying to standardize between what is happening in Malaysia and what's happening in Indonesia. So our market is demarcated. Now in terms of when we don't have enough, we do get from Thailand because of the fact that Thailand's smallholder is a lot stronger in terms of their traceability. So we were able to get that, because right now it's more about traceability and the requirements from smallholder in terms of deforestation is a lot less. And as we also understand, when it comes to the benchmarking for the EU, Thailand is not considered standard risk, it's low risk. So this is how we have been working in terms of purchasing the suppliers. I think what is most important for us is in terms of trying to get, and we would prefer to be able to get from all different countries, because depending on climate, depending on supply, it is always easier for us if we can get all the 3 countries freely moving. But the point of fact is that there is still some requirement in trying to strengthen the traceability aspects and legality aspects of the production in Indonesia, because it is very, very complicated. So if ISPO can be further strengthened, we will definitely look into looping into our supply chain for our markets in, for example, Europe, for example. Yeah.
So then we move to the next question, please.
Okay, hello. I would like to thank you to the speakers. And I think Dr. Harajat hit the nail on the head, saying that we need some certain kind of uniform definitions. So my question, I want to direct to Mr. Hafizin. I think one of the initiatives that the IMT-GT can do first is that we can map all of the different standards and see how the different standards answer the question of the global supply chain. So even small country like Thailand, we produce only 4% of the global production, but we can actually map to see how the different standards answer our questions. And I'm just trying to find somewhere that we could all start. And I see that one of the things that everything is going towards is a digital data infrastructure. And I think for the coming century, we will need strong data and also uniform one, so that traceability would not be an issue. So I would like to ask for your insight on this, on where could we start. Thank you.
I think that is a very good question. It's not a question, I think more like a reflection. And I agree. The best way to do it is always start with a proper pilot, because we can define the set parameters. And let's call it not pilot, let's call it a sandbox, because sandbox would allow us to do the impossible. So, but it requires a strong political will. And it's also strong, so it circles back to CIMT, if I may pass this. To what extent CIMT would be able to drive this agenda even after this session in Bangkok, And I think if CIMT could continue to provide that leadership and prioritize this issue as one of the strategic issues for consideration, we could have follow-up discussion on what would be the next action item that we could be explored. So for example, at least from MSPO's point of view, we are working on 3 or 4 sandboxes or pilot projects at the same time across Malaysia to really just test out ideas. We don't know yet what would the outcome be. For example, for EUDR traceability, to really meet to the most stringent requirements. So for example, even the EUDR or global regulation, one would interpret it differently. Even when you ask the 27 EU countries, the competent authorities would have different definition of what does it mean with inspection. So we ask the top leaders of EU, we ask them this question: how do you intend to do the inspection of 1%, 3%, and 9%? The EU Commission side said, we will leave it to the member states to figure out. So my point is, there are a lot of discussions and there are a lot of testings that we can do. So to answer your question, we just need to find the right parameters. What is it that we are testing? Are we testing traceability? Are we testing the definition? Are we testing the inclusion? So we need a proper parameters, but definitely this platform is a good platform for us to pursue. Yeah.
Can I just add in one thing about definitions? And I think this is where CIMT can help us. What cooperation wants are policies that defines it very clearly. One of the things that is a fundamental issue is the definition of forest. The definition of forest by FAO is totally in opposition to what is actually happening in areas like ours. So one thing, if you define the forest according to the way it is happening in Southeast Asia, the whole issue of deforestation is removed. It will not fall under deforestation. And if the ASEAN countries sits down together and said, look, FAO, listen to us. Your definition is based on a temperate climate, not on the tropical climate, where you leave a land for about 3 years, it becomes a secondary forest. It becomes higher than the 20 meters that they have defined as a forest. So I think fundamentally we need to just do simple things. Definition of forest is one of them. And this, at the policy level, all of us can agree. Address the issue very easily. Second, things like shipping codes. A lot of the products that we export do not have a shipping code because it is being controlled by the West. We have biomass. Let's define our own shipping code. Make it so that they are forced to recognize us, rather than us always complying to them. We have a huge commodity here, and I think we need to work together. If you work with the corporations who identify these issues, it gives you an idea what policies to come out. If you come out with policies from the top without consulting the corporations who are involved in the trade, then it becomes an issue. So I'm very happy that you invited a corporation to be involved. It is very high, governmental. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Surina, for very concluding remark instead of me to concluding the session, and that was she talking about. It also thank you for our speaker, and time is up already. And then I believe that everyone have very valuable, insightful information from 3 speakers. Especially, we have already realized what are the concrete initiatives already started by MSPO, ISPO, and also by the corporate IOI. And I'm confident that now we are already aware of key actionable steps that perhaps MIT-GT or CIMT should be able to take up the next step, how we could be able to support each other, foster the collaboration, maybe start with a simple thing, define the definition of the forest together. And then don't forget to engage the corporate or private sector because they are really playing a crucial role when it comes to trade. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, moderator and all speakers, for your valuable insights. May I request all of you to still remain on the stage for token of appreciation, please? Mr. Amri, could you present the token of appreciation, please? For the first one, to the moderator, Dr. Kanokwan Satsawat Techa. Next, Dr. Hadrajat. Next, Dr. Hadrajat Natawijaya. Next, Dr. Surina Ismail. And the last one, Mr. Hafizin Tajuddin. Thank you very much again for our panelists and participations in engaging discussion. We now move to the short coffee break at the foyer in front of this meeting room. And please return to the room by 10:30. Thank you. May I have your attention, please? We are about to begin shortly. Could you please be seated? I think we are ready, so welcome back, and we now begin the session to addressing smallholders, challenges in ensuring inclusivity in the palm oil industry. May I now invite the moderator and all speakers to be on the stage, please. First, Mr. Severinus Tuka, please be on the stage, please. And the second, Mr. Trin Pongpetra. Next, Dr. Kuntoro Boga Andri. And next, Dr. Mustalifa Mahmood.
Yes, just three from the private sector. Okay, yes. Everyone is a doctor.
Now let me introduce the short biography of the moderator, Mr. Severinus Tuka. Mr. Severnus is a senior government officer with over 25 years of experience in leadership, policy making, and administration across various ministries in Malaysia. Currently serving as Senior Undersecretary at the Ministry of Plantation and Commodities. He has previously held key roles in transportation, human resources, and international representation. Now may I pass the session to the moderator, Mr. Severnus, please.
Thank you, Ms. MC. First of all, good morning to esteemed delegates, distinguished panelists, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the second session of Dialogue on Sustainable Palm Oil Supply Chain in the IMT-GT Subregion with the topic of addressing smallholders' challenges and ensuring inclusivity in the palm oil industry. Okay, first of all, I will introduce the panelists, then they will present 10 minutes of presentations. And then we move to the next panelist and then the last panelist. Then I will open for Q&A at the last session. So everybody have 10 minutes. But I've been told by the organizers just now that we can drag a little bit, maybe until 2 o'clock. No. Okay. Smallholders are not only vital to the palm oil industry across Indonesia, Malaysia, and Thailand, but also play a crucial role in ensuring a long-term sustainability of the supply chain. Their contributions may face structural challenges such as limited access to finance, technical knowledge, sustainability certifications, and global market connectivity. In this session, we are honored to host 3 distinguished speakers from Thailand, Indonesia, and CIPOPC, Council of Palm Oil Producing Countries, who will share country-specific and regional perspective on how to uplift smallholders and integrate them more inclusively into the sustainable palm oil supply. Okay, for our first speaker is Mr. Trin Pong Petra. I hope I pronounce it correctly. Executive Director of Southern Palm Company Limited and President of the Surat-Thani Chapter of Federation of Thai Industry. Mr. Pong Petra has a strong background in engineering and business, holding a Master of Mechanical Engineering from University College of London. His career has spanned various sectors, from supply chain management at Chevron, Thailand, to international trading at PTT Public Company Limited. He brings a unique perspective from the private sector, and his presentation will offer insight into the challenges faced by smallholders in Thailand and the initiative being developed to address them. So please welcome Mr. Trin. Over to you, Mr. Trin.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Moderator, and good morning to distinguished guest speakers and representative for the IMT-GT. So my name is Trin Pong Petra. I've been in the palm oil industry for about 10 years. And what my question today that is brought to me is, what are the key challenges faced by the smallholders in implementing sustainability, and how do we bring them and empowering them to be involved in dictating sustainability practice. So I want to share my 5 years of experience working on the grounds with them. Okay, next slide, please. So for the Southern Palm is where I come from. It's a family-owned palm mills in Surat-Thani. We have 2 mills. So compared to the IOI group, we are a very small player. So coming out from the pandemic, the government actually asked us to implement a big plot program. So what happened is that the smallholders actually came and approached us is, how do we actually sell FFB at a higher price to the mills? And that start a working process, or that start a loop that there's complete engagement from something owned completely by the smallholders on how they could improve the quality and also improve the incentives to them.
So right now, my smallholder groups, there's over 100 households having a small, humble 350 hectares. But from the inside is that the smallholders actually came and approached us is that we want certification. We want to pursue active certification by themselves. Not us asking them to do, but it's actually the smallholders who actually want to get certified. Okay, next slide, please. So just to give you an introduction of Thailand's unique geography. In Thailand, the amount of plantation area is about 1 million hectares. Most of the areas are replacing rubber cultivation. And most of the cultivators are actually smallholders. There's around 410,000 households. Consists about 80% of our cultivators are mainly smallholders. So, and currently, Thailand have around 132 mills registered with the government. And most of the palm producing province are in the south of Thailand. This is our geography. Okay, next slide, please. And up until now, the government have pursued a very extremely free trade policy. So with better roads, urbanizations, any smallholders can sell to anyone. That come at a cost to the mills. So procuring quality FFB has become hard. So everyone will be competing on price. And what happened is that the smallholders are incentivized to follow a much short-term thinking of selling for price at a cost of quality. So that's how the Thai mills are suffering, and that's the problem right now. And we are solving it through some certain kind of scheme. Okay, next slide, please. So yes, it's about the pricing. Okay, next slide, sorry. So in Malaysia, most of the cultivators are big plantation. You see in the first photo, there's cultivators, there are crushing mills, and they send to refineries. In Thailand, when 80% of these cultivators are actually smallholders, we have something like dealers, harvester, collectors who actually got into the supply chain equations. And what happened is that they increased the time from the plantation to the mills, decreasing the quality of FFB. So the problem leads to lower oil extractions. Okay, next slide, please. So the problem for us is lower oil extraction compared to Malaysia and Indonesia standards. There's much more competition for acquiring FFB. And so the Thai mills need to compete on paying higher price. And also the smallholders are not incentivized to produce good quality palm. Okay, next slide. So, and also other problems that are facing with the smallholders that they don't have economy of scale. So in comparing themselves to big plantation, their cost is actually higher than the bigger plantation by 42%. That's the problem for smallholders. And even though for the certification cost, for the auditing cost, everything is high. So in addressing their problems, we need to put everything on the board and actually design a solution for them. Okay, next slide, please. So in 2023, RSPO Thailand, in conjunction with the Wararak University, we commissioned a report and a research to actually survey different smallholders, whether certified, RSPO certified or non-certified. And these are the elements that compare the certified players and non-certified players. You see actually the differing point is actually one, whether they have a directly selling point to the mills. Most of the certified players sell their FFB directly to the mills. Most of the uncertified players have to go through dealers. And also the differing point is farm records. Is that what we found is that non-certified players, they don't really know at all about how their plantation is actually doing. They don't know what's the right fertilizers or what's the good practice for them. So this is where certification come in. It comes in to help the smallholders know what to do with their plantation to ensure maximum sustainability. Okay, next slide, please. This is the same, this is very similar. So this is a survey between the well-certified player and also the new one, you see that the gap is much smaller. Okay, next slide, please. This is just a summary. In summary, the certified smallholders actually get around 50%, a lot more revenue or profit compared to the non-certified players. The smallholders, if you ask the smallholders without giving them these informations, they wouldn't know why they would want to do sustainability. They would say, why would I certify, or why would I need to pay, spend the effort, the work to certify? But once, if we have given them the right information and the complete information, there's incentives for them to certify, especially with the right structure. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, this is, I wouldn't go into this. Different countries have different standards. For us, we use the RSPO standards right now, but MSPO for Malaysia and ISPO for Indonesia, it's just a tool. It's just a tool to actually assess ourselves whether we are doing things right. Like Dr. Surya and the CEO of MSPO said, we need to actually benchmark different standards across IMT-GT to actually know where are the gaps and how can we actually improve the quality of the whole supply chain. Okay, next slide, please. So at the end of the day, the structure that actually I found that worked in the South Thailand is actually a free party structure. So where the smallholders work directly with the private sector or the mills, where we give incentives straight to them using cost, using price. So right now we paid around 20 cents more to the smallholders who ship directly to our mills as compared to the dealers. So once the group of the smallholders born up, with auditing and if anything, we create an environment that they actually audit themselves, and they actually will help to force their friends to actually do well. So if you create an environment where their peers is actually accountable to peers to get good price, they are actually lift the standard. If it's different, it's different if they have that relationship directly with the mills or the government, they wouldn't be so accountable. But if they are accountable to their peers in their own community, we found that that will actually increase the quality by a lot. So by grouping them up, they can actually source lower cost fertilizers. They actually have some groups that could do trainings. And so for the mills, we get better fruits and good engagement from them. And the government also know that these people are the clusters that want to develop sustainable practice. So the government will support us more with any kind of budget or sourcing or anything that comes into the region. Okay, next slide, please. So in recommendation for Thailand, is that each country have different problems to solve. For Thailand, it's a small yield and better pricing for the smallholders. But for Indonesia, it could be land rights, land use, land ownership. So the crux of issue, I think, is that any kind of sustainability standards need to solve the problem of their countries. And what we can work upon is the general data infrastructure, like the Department of Agricultural Extension. They have a lot of data. If they would make these data available for the private sector so that we can comply with something like UDR or RSPO, it will be a lot easier. And also, we need to create or bring a tools that the smallholders would have a very easy way to do farm records. Because with farm records, they would know what they are obtaining from each sustainability practice and what they are not. And also, we also need a serious dialogue on land use and land rights and land ownership in Thailand, on what is the definitions of land and land ownership. So thank you. That will be the end of my presentation.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Trin, for the insightful presentations. Your overview of Thailand's palm oil geography and market was very informative, particularly the statistic that smallholder account for almost 410,000 households, and the Surat Thani is the top province for oil palm productions. You highlighted the crucial point about the unique market structure in Thailand, where the supply chain is longer, involving harvesters and fruit collector, which can reduce the quality of a fresh fruit bunch, or FFB, and contribute to the lower extraction of oil. Okay, we move to the next speaker. Please put in the pocket your question, then we will get it at the end of the presentation. Our next speaker is Dr. Kuntoro Boga Andre, a distinguished agriculture economist and senior government official with over 25 years of experience in public policy, research management, and agriculture development. He currently serves as the Director of Downstreaming of Estate Crop Product at Indonesia Ministry of Agriculture. He earned his PhD in Agricultural Economic and Policy from Kagoshima University, Japan, and has an impressive publication record of over 40 scientific articles and more than 200 popular writing. Okay, please welcome Dr. Kuntoro Boga.
Thank you, moderator. Good morning, everybody. So I'd like to introduce myself. I'm the new director of downstreaming of estate crop of Minister of Agriculture, because 3 weeks ago I was the breeders. Yeah, 3 weeks ago I was a breeder, and now my position is a director of downstreaming of estate crop. So very different fields. Yeah, so I'm the new member of this group, but I would like to address the policy and industry response to enhance the smallholder participation in a sustainable palm oil initiative in Indonesia. Okay, next. Everybody knows the role of Indonesian palm oil contribution to our economy, to our export value, employment, PDB, food security, and currently for the energy security, because we targeted for B50 actually, of 50% of biodiesel in 2025, yeah. And this is very important commodities for our countries. Everybody already knows. Maybe this is new lesson for me. Okay, next. But we have several challenging, especially the same with Thailand and Malaysia, especially for the smallholders, that legality, land ownerships, cultivation permission, yeah, then also traceability. You already mentioned about that. Additional costs, especially the smallholder have bear the additional infrastructure investment and costs for the sustainable certification, and also segregation approach for the potential of mill implementation of segregation approach to the rejected FFB, yeah, from smallholder. That this is really challenging for the smallholder, that they have the relatively low in productivity. They are still don't have the geolocation and also the special regional overlay. There are many issues on that. Then there are still smallholder farmers don't have any joint planter institution, though they are free farmers. And climate change and extreme climate, also fluctuating palm oil price, that also mentioned before. Next. And I have to state about this, and my point from the government point of view is that the Indonesia is committed to the strengthening an inclusive and sustainable palm oil supply chain through the strategic and action plan of sustainable palm oil. We call it in Bahasa as a RAN KSB, as a outline in presidential regulation. They already knows that presidential regulation mandate on the sustainable palm oil. This strategy is aligned with a broader legal framework from national law and government regulation into the minister regulation. We have the minister regulation on that, and particularly from the Ministry of Agriculture to support improve government across the entire palm oil value chain, from upstream to downstream. So to support the smallholder farmers, the government of Indonesia also introduced several key programs. Here is the several input from the government to strengthening their management system, especially on palm oil. The first is the smallholder palm oil replanting program. We call it PSR, or Permajaan Sawit Rakyat. Yeah, replanting of new plant of sawit and focusing on improving a smallholder productivity through crop intensification. And this is really a huge program supported by the government for the replanting of new palm oil. And also we supported for the ISPO certification and to ensuring the smallholder palm production meets sustainable standard, and also the government provision of infrastructure and facilities. We call it SAPRAS in Bahasa, to facilitating access to production and logistic support, and the most important one is the capacity building. Next. Next slide. Driving impact, we thought to subregional traceability is first is to enhance the credibility and competitiveness of IMT-GT palm oil product, and also supply chain transparency for boost global reputation, and also we need to strengthening the cross-border cooperation and cross-border traceability, also to ensure sustainable market access for all the actors, including smallholders. Next. Next, Next. Now, this is the strategic step to build the subregional traceability system in our opinion. First is to establish a special task force for the subregional traceability, and how to facilitate the collaboration among our government, especially also the actor of palm oil companies, how to facilitate collaboration on technology, how to collaborate on NGOs, and also how to align the regulation and standard support and efficiency tribalization and mutual recognition between us, how to develop the regional dashboard. This is very important in our point of view for a real-time, cross-border, and cross-platform tracking for upstream to downstream. And last but not least, to provide support for smallholder as a flagship IMT-GT program. This is maybe debatable between us, because we're talking about this many times. I heard, because I just 3 weeks in this office, how to subsidize training, access to technology. In the last meeting, we're talking about this, and from Malaysia, give many suggestions about that. Okay, next. And how the role of the MGT in government and private sector in the traceability system to harmonize to subregional traceability and technology innovation is very important for the supply chain traceability system. Everybody support this in this room, I think. Okay, next. And how MGT rules facilitating traceability pilot is first is to establish a subregional corporation. We're talking about this. And promoting collaborative, we are the same position on that kind of condition, providing a cross-country coordination forum, and also developing a scalable and replaceable system, pilot project, and the most important, I think, to formulate sub-regional traceability standard. This is for potential international recognition. I mean, it's not because Indonesia, say Indonesia is the biggest one, but against the market is still the problem. We need the collaboration within the countries and within the private sector in the region. Okay, next. And the final thoughts and perspective from us is how the MGT has the potential to become the model region for inclusive, resilient, and high competitiveness sustainable palm oil traceability. And sub-regional traceability system is crucial, we understand, for enhancing the credibility and competitiveness of palm oil from the MGT region, and inclusive partnership, and also against how to be regulatory harmonization, and data interoperability are the key establishing the effective sub-regional traceability system between us. Okay, that is the presentation I need to deliver. Then, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Contoro, for the comprehensive and insightful presentation. You provided a clear overview of the challenges facing smallholder farmers, such as legal uncertainty regarding land ownership and cultivation permit, low productivity and high costs associated with the certifications and infrastructure investment. You also highlighted how the complexity of the palm oil supply chain and lack of documentation create traceability issue for smallholders. Your discussion of the National Action Plan for Sustainable Palm Oil, run KSB, was particularly informative, showing how regulatory reform are being extended through the presidential regulations on run KSB 2025 until 2029. We also appreciate your focus on collaborative traceability initiative within the IMT-GT framework. You made a compelling case for how a subregional traceability system can enhance the credibility and competitiveness of palm oil from the region. Okay, we move to the third and last speaker. Our final speaker for today, Dr. Engineer Musdalifah Mahmud, the Deputy Secretary General of the Council of Palm Oil Producing Country, or CPOPC. She is a highly respected Indonesian civil servant and an expert in economy, environmental and agriculture policy with over 3 decades of experience. Dr. Mus has held key leadership position in the Indonesia government, including Deputy Coordinating Minister for Food and Agribusiness. She holds a doctorate in business management from IPB University and was recently honored with the Ambassador 75 Award for her contribution to climate action and sustainability. She also received the Lifetime Achievement Award from Sawit Indonesia magazine for her exceptional contribution for the palm oil sector. Please welcome Dr. Musdalifah. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Suferinus Tukas. I think we met many times, ya Pak. It's distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. It's a privilege to join in this IMT-GT framework. Thank you very much to inviting us from CPOPC to attend in this very important talk about smallholders. Please, for the next. Okay, I just would like to introduce CPOPC. We have Ibu Marha here from, good afternoon, Ibu Marha, and others from Malaysia, because our members now, Indonesia, Malaysia, we have Honduras now, Pak, Papua New Guinea, and Democratic Republic of the Congo. Actually, we are very high intent to asking Thailand to join with us, because the same with rubber, we are the biggest producer of palm oil, 3 countries. Indonesia for the rubber, Thailand is the largest producer of rubbers, Indonesia the second, and Malaysia the third. For the palm oil, Indonesia the first, the second Malaysia, and the third also Thailand. So we are the 3 country IMT-GT actually also for the producer of palm oil. So it's very honored. We are very proud if Thailand also would like to join with us. We talk together as IMT-GT palm oil production country. CPOPC recognize contribution for the generating export revenue, raising the income level of rural small farmers, which is we talk about this today, addressing poverty, also creating employment and new business opportunities, We are now inviting African, Central America, and Asia Pacific. We hope very high intends to asking Thailand also. Then we have another potential member, Colombia, Ghana, and Nigeria, which is as a observers country. We actually invite every year Thailand to join with us, even for the observers. I hope after this meeting we can have Thailand also in our next SOM meeting and ministerial meeting. Next, please. This is scope and function CPOPC. I think I don't need to elaborate anymore. And next, please. This is our profiles. The production, our share now in the world, around 84.14%. If we can join with Thailand also, we will have 88% in the world. So I hope Pak Chair to also to asking Thailand to facilitate us that Thailand will join with CPOPC in the next. And our grand total nowadays is 88.9%, including observer. Next, please. If we join with the Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, so the total, all of us in IMT, 87.4%. Indonesia, Malaysia, and Thailand in this region for the global palm oil production. So if we including with others members, so around 88.8%. Next, please. As we, this occasion, we will gather address sustainability in the palm oil supply chains. I wish to begin to emphasizing that a fundamental truth: smallholders are not only producers. They are the lifeblood of the palm oil industry across our region. Their resilience, innovation, and contribution to rural livelihood are unmatched. Yet, they remain the most vulnerable to shifting global standards, rising compliance costs, and market access constraints. In this spirit, my presentation will focus on how cross-border collaboration through shared frameworks, digital innovation, and inclusive policies can empower smallholders to thrive sustainably and competitively in the global marketplace. Next, please. Smallholders represent the backbone of the palm oil industry in the Southeast Asia, particularly within the IMT-GT Subregion. They manage approximately 40% of palm plantation in Indonesia. Smallholder also over 30% in Malaysia, and almost all of plantation in 1 million hectares in Thailand. What I hear, please correct me as if I made mistake, almost 100% are smallholders. Is it correct? Or 90%. Over 90% of the smallholder plantation of the plantation in Thailand are smallholders. More than 90%. So it's very crucial to talk about smallholders in this event. And then to talk about, however, smallholder face persistent challenges in meeting increasingly stringent international sustainability requirements. And then also including talk about traceability, certification, and market access, especially in the light of global regulatory shift such as EU deforestation-free regulation. In this context, cross-border collaboration within the IMT-GT subregion emerged as a powerful lever to uplift smallholders and ensure their inclusion in global supply chains. Next, please. If we talk about challenges faced by smallholder in sustainability compliance, across the IMT-GT countries, smallholders encounter common barriers. I think this is the same as the speakers before. The first, limited access to financing and premium markets from Indonesia and also from Trin already present more keen. And the second one is low technological capacity to implement good agriculture practices aligned with sustainability standards. For example, ISPO, MSPO, RSPO. And also the third is fragmented support system, inconsistent policy alignment, and that hinder economies of scale. Pak Kuntoro, maybe that is many case happen in Indonesia in terms of fragmented support system. Even the government already support a lot, but still in the smallholder level, it's not easy for them to access all the facility and access to all the supporting system from the central level. And the third, and on international regulation, emerging international regulation do not fully accommodate smallholder realities. Lack of adequate transition mechanism also always happen in the smallholders. These challenges not only constrain smallholders' ability to comply with sustainability framework, but also erode their competitiveness, leading to inclusion from high-value international markets. Next, please. Collaborative strategies that we would like to propose, the IMT-GT platform present a timely opportunities to forge structure and targeted cross-border partnership by leveraging agro-ecological landscapes, a socio-economic context, and regional supply chains that following collaborative strategies can be pursued. First is harmonizing a smallholder-friendly certification framework. It's not the same with the what from the MSPO talk, but harmonizing is not always the same. All of harmonizing, we can go through our system by the country because the sustainability system in Indonesia followed through 120 regulation, which valid in the country, more than 120 because a lot of regulation in Indonesia. We need to collaborate all of the system. And in Malaysia, if I'm not mistaken, around 30 regulation in the MSPO. That is what I read. And then, so, like what from MSP talk, harmonizing is not always, but we do the same. In Indonesia, do our sustainability system. In Malaysia, always do the same. But in CPOPC, actually, we already proposed that global framework platform sustainability palm oil. We already assist this analysis to have the system in the global palm oil plantation. We trying to collaborate everything, synergize, and then we can propose the sustainability system is talk about how to manage plantation, good agriculture practicing in each region, because each region has their own characteristic of the land, characteristic of the people, and characteristic of the regulation in that country. So we harmonize with our own characteristic, the country characteristic. So it means the small harmonization in this sustainability scheme. And I hope in the future with IMT-GT, we can collaborate together to have the sustainability system and to rising in the in the global market. We are not saying that we will use one sustainability system, but we can propose, we have the framework of the sustainability system in the IMT-GT region. I think through CIPOPC and IMT-GT will promote this kind of sustainability and to rise to how to help our smallholders through the sustainability system implement in the palm oil plantation. I hope the global market will look that palm oil plantation, because if we IMT-GT together, we already cover 87% of the global market, of the global palm oil production in the world. So it will very strong. We as CIPOPC will talk in the term for the as a palm oil country producer, but IMT-GT talk about the region. Like Ibu Surina already talked, that we need to have one definition of what is the land, what is forest, and if we have the same pattern, because our situation, tropical country with Europe, with United States, is very much different. If they already clean their forest, they will to grow it again. It's very hard. But in our country, if we left 6 months, we don't do anything, the land will going back. I don't know how to say. Become a forest again, because it's become a secondary forest or others. So in this situation, and also we can say, we produce not only palm oil, we produce rubber. Rubber is a forest tree. In Indonesia, rubber is forest tree. So why they say deforestation for the rubber production? It saves the forest, because palm oil, the ecosystem will change, the same with the forest ecosystem, or they're creating a new ecosystem, but in the function and everything is the same with forest. They produce oxygen, they diminish carbon sequestration, something like that. So we need to voice this. True region is very strong voice, and we are as a palm oil producer, we can talk on the palm oil, we talk about palm oil, but from IMT-GT we can talk everything. We can talk about rubber, you can talk about cocoa, because we are also produce cocoa in this region. You can talk about coffee and forest. So other country, the consumer country or other country who has no forest, do not point us as the country who damage the forest, because we still have forest. In the palm oil producing countries, we have 5 members. Malaysia still have more than 63% of forest. Indonesia 53%. Indonesia 63%, that is in data. And Honduras still have 57%. In Papua New Guinea, they have still 88% forest. And in DRC 88%, DRC still have 67%. So there are forestry area, and what we can say, palm oil plantation save the forest. Why we can save forest? Because we still have forest. Even we have a big plantation of palm oil, We don't, the farmer, the smallholder, don't go to the forest anymore because they satisfied with the economy they have from the palm oil plantation or rubber plantation on other plantation. So we can say, Pak, IMT-GT, we can supporting to each other to support our commodity in the IMT region. Through palm oil is the one very strong voice to working together to, and we can do collaboration in, because we are not talking only as a producer, we are talking about our people, our smallholders, our economy for our smallholders, the economy of our country. So let's working together with the IMT-GT, CIMT offered, we can do many things to support this our in our land blood for our people. And I think that is this is a lot of collaborative strategies that we can develop together by pool capacity building initiative, blended financing, incentive alignment, and also market access facilitation and sub-regional branding. One that is a very trend nowadays is joint investment in interoperable digital systems, mobile-based traceability tools, geospatial mapping, and blockchain enable monitoring and shared platform to enable transparency and safeguard market access. That is the trend of after EUDR regulation will implement it on the 1st January 2026. I think by joint interoperable digital system is very give benefit to all of us. And next, please. That is existing model and initiative which we can identify nowadays for the smallholder inclusion program, RSPO initiative in Sabah and South Sumatra, cross-border training collaboration, partnership between Malaysia, Indonesia, and Thailand in agriculture working group, and also we are in the CIMT also held smallholder capacity building in Indonesia, Malaysia, and also we are realized that in terms to increase the capacity building, we can make it uniform in all the producer country. It must be specific in each region, including if we do capacity building in Papua New Guinea, it's very much different if we bring them to Indonesia to increase their capacity building with the Indonesian situation. So we need to adjust with their region itself. So now CIMT initiative is to go to directly the member country to increase the capacity building based on their condition. Not we can just doing like framework platform of the capacity building which we have already in Indonesia and Malaysia, and then we bring that platform to go to the region like in Papua New Guinea, Honduras, and Congo, and we can shoot to its condition. So that is what based on our experience to increase capacity building, to make it to make them uniform is very much different, very hard to do. So we realized we need to go to directly to its area, to each country with their own language, with their own habit, and that with their own culture. And also digital traceability pilot supported by CIMT and UNDP, we use mobile tools adopted smallholder literacy and connectivity levels. Next, please. We have the scaling across border. We need to have a strategic plan to empower smallholders. We can working together, CIMT in the palm oil, and also fund to support sustainability initiative and trade facilitation, establishment of IMT-GT Smallholder Sustainability and Trade Facilitation Fund, and formation of trilateral working group, dedicated group on sustainable smallholder integration under IMT-GT Palm Oil Cooperation Framework. I think that's all. Thank you very much, and I'm happy to be here. I heard Bu Surina very give a strong spirit to all of us to continue, ya Bu Mahaya, to continue our communication through IMT-GT, CPOPC, because we are now new board, just 2 months, with from Malaysia, the Secretary General Ibu Wan Izana Saleh, now our SG. I hope with IMT-GT we can have a good cooperation between, because we will grow our region, yeah, in the global market. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Musdalifa, for the presentation. Your analysis effectively highlighted the crucial role of smallholders in the palm oil industry. 40% from Indonesia, 30% from Malaysia, and 90% from Thailand. So your proposal collaborative strategies offer a compelling vision on the future by advocating the harmonization of smallholder-friendly certification framework, co-development of sub-regional traceability infrastructure, pooled capacity building initiative, and blended financing. You have provided a clear roadmap for action. So now we still have few 10 minutes or 15 minutes for question and answer. So I open the floor for any question. Yeah, Dr. Surina, please pass the microphone.
So thank you. I think smallholders to us is quite important. As I mentioned, we do purchase from Thailand, for example. And so you're right, we only purchase those who are RSPO certified in the event that you don't have that certification. So I think I just wanted to highlight 2 things that you know, companies and corporations look for. First, of course, is quality. You know, if the quality is not good, doesn't matter whether the certification is there. We cannot, because our customers. So quality is important. And then second, certification is because it gives us a verification. And I think this is where we would like to make sure that probably I'm going to ask you guys, how do you want to push them to go towards it? Because we know under RSPO, a lot of Indonesian smallholders who are RSPO certified has not want to renew their certification because they don't find that they can sell outside that will give them the additional incentive to be certified. Now, you have to understand that corporations cannot take the risk of buying from those that commit deforestation, because the impact on the organization is 4% profit of the company, of the group. So that's a huge amount of money. So certification becomes quite important. Now, so what we want from you guys now is to make sure that Indonesia, Malaysia, and Thailand have a strong enough certification that you can bring to EU and say, look, we are certified, we have traceability, we have sustainability, we can ensure deforestation. How are you going to do this in terms of having this loose connection? So maybe CIMT can do this. I'm not sure, so I'm asking a question.
I believe this question to Mr. Trin, isn't it?
Okay, so thank you for the question, Dr. Suryana. I think you addressed a very important part, is that certification actually stands for quality. And in Thailand, we we use certification to answer quality. The people who actually get certified are actually recognized by the mills to have better farm practice. We understand that this might be different in Indonesia and Malaysia, but in terms of IMT-GT, I think as long as we have a central platforms that the smallholders can actually learn from each other and see the different incentives that the smallholders may have across the region, we can actually piece together what the best practice for certification is. For example, for RSPO, is that you need 100% compliance. We can talk whether we could actually take samplings, and we can actually use a policy or data-driven approach so that we can actually see that they are in compliance with the EUDR, and also that the system is intact in different countries. I think that is one of the first step that we can do. Yes, I think maybe my colleagues here can help me with answering the question.
Thank you for the question. Talking about the incentive, I think incentive should come from all the stakeholders. Government should provide incentive for the company. Companies should provide incentive for the farmers. Market should give incentive also to the certified. Through the supply chain. I mean, the Indonesian government already have the regulation, and providing the stakeholders with many incentive. I think that we can more, provided, for example, not only regulation actually, but also many support, for the stakeholders in the supply chain. We can talk and discuss about that, and maybe Bu Musdalifah can inform more about that. Silakan, Bu.
Ibu Mus, do you want to add something or?
So, because I former deputy, I just know that in terms of the incentive, actually, when we assisting the regulation of the Indonesia sustainable palm oil, we already disseminate that to have sustainability system in their plantation, it doesn't mean they will get the incentive. The incentive coming from the way they do sustainability system, because they will do good agricultural practicing. It means that they will have high yield, better than if they don't do sustainability system. In terms, if they have the sustainability system, all the subsidies will go through the subsidy. It means because in government we have palm oil funds. They have to Pak Buko already mentioned that they will implement infrastructure, in terms to give the fertilizer, to support their fertilizer, to support the road in the plantation. So that is coming from if they already implement sustainability scheme. So the incentive itself coming directly to them. So that is what we disseminate to the smallholders, that they will need to follow sustainability system, because all the incentive is going through directly to them. Infrastructure for fertilizer and others, replanting and scholarship. More than 4,000 students, farmer children. We give a scholarship for them to go to the university every year. 4,000 smallholder children. That is a kind of the subsidies incentive to them. So that's why they don't choose that they want to do a sustainability system or not to do. It's mandatory. They have to do sustainability system to assurance them that they will involve on the all the incentive system will go through to them through palm oil farms that we have. Yeah.
Should become from the market.
Yeah. No. So that's
Incentive from the government.
okay. So they will. Yeah, the premium price. We yeah.
Segregation of the price.
We never promise that they will have premium price to our smallholders, especially for the smallholders. We can announce that premium price to them, because if once we say you get the premium price, they will force us to fulfill what they thought that they will get a premium price. That's why in terms of they have to follow sustainability system, all the other incentive we gone through them. No.
Thank you very much. Okay, before Mr. Trin have to say something, I would like to share how Malaysia did it. Actually, in Malaysia, we have dedicated agencies to help the smallholder to gain the MSPO certifications. So MPOB is doing almost 100% of it, and we have a special tools that we call it SPOC, Sustainable Palm Oil Cluster, that we group together few smallholders and help them to get the certification. Then the certification is paid by the government. Okay, over to you, Mr. Trin.
In Thailand, we pay them the premium price. We paid them the premium price. But what I found, Dr. Surina, what I found interesting is that after working them for 4 or 5 years, it's not about the pricing that they actually want. The farmers actually, like us, we don't pursue the highest paying job, but they use the pricing as a stand-in for a factor that they are doing the right job with their plantation. They want to be able to be recognized by their peers that they are doing a good job. So as long as the system in each of the countries help them to recognize each other that I'm a smallholder and I'm doing a good job with my plantation, then that can stand in for incentives. But in terms of Thailand, we pay them extras.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Trin. Any other questions before? We still have a few minutes. Okay, Mr. Joe.
I had seen that a lot of issues discussed since this morning are already being handled or by CIPOPC. And now we have IMT-GT. We are discussing the same thing, same issues and so on. I'm afraid that in the long run, if there is no formal platform for the two organizations to really talk and streamline, instead of cooperating between CIPOPC and IMT-GT, they could be competing. I think it is time for us not to replicate or duplicate the works that have been done throughout, so as not to waste the energy that we put into this discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Joe. On behalf of IMT-GT Secretariat, IMT-GT is only the southern part of West Malaysia, I think southern part of Thailand, and then Sumatra in Indonesia. While BIM Niaga, the other group is including Brunei, Philippines, Malaysia, Indonesia, taking care of the southern part actually. So it's a good idea. We need to collaborate. Then I believe CIPOPC and IMT-GT have to sit together to align the border between these two economic forum. Okay, any other question? Thank you, Mr. Joe. Yeah.
Thank you. I just would like to comment on Mr. Johari's statement just now. This is what we, Malaysia has raised in our comments of the TOR of IMT-GT Palm Oil Corporation.
Excuse
Should
me, can you introduce yourself first?
Oh, sorry. My name is Nurul Marha Muhammad. I'm from the Ministry of Plantation and Commodities Malaysia. Also the National Focal Point for Malaysia for the PIT Palm Oil Project Implementation Team for Palm Oil Corporation. So exactly the comments that Mr. Joharis mentioned just now, this is what Malaysia has put forward. So all the efforts in the IMT-GT should not duplicate what has been done in other international platform, be it CPOPC and other ASEAN working group. Yeah, I just would like to echo on Mr. Joharis' comment just now. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Marha. Any other question or inputs?
Thank you. Since people mentioned IMT-GT, maybe I'm called, to respond. I mean, of course, our intention is never to duplicate or, let alone substitute any existing platform, because that's not our intention. But I think there's a uniqueness in the IMT-GT platform in the sense that, first of all, it consists, as I am aware, is probably the only platform that has the top 3 producing palm oil countries in the world. And also bearing into mind that Thailand, being the 3rd most, in terms of the production, is not a CPOPC member. So there itself, there's a difference in terms of the platform. So a platform where you have all the 3 countries who has a stake in palm oil development in the sector, we see that, IMT-GT has that potential. But of course, we see ourselves as a platform where if there's convergence on certain ideas, and I like the idea I think mentioned by I think Jafis from MSPO, with regards to piloting or sandboxing some initiative, which I think that is exactly the intention of IMT-GT, where we always see ourselves as a building block of ASEAN. We don't try to compete with ASEAN, which is, and the complexity in ASEAN is also, if I can recall everyone, that 10 countries in ASEAN are very diverse in terms of the economic development. You have Singapore on one spectrum, and then you have coming to be Timor-Leste and some of the other countries in the Mekong sub-region. So that itself is a barrier that we have. And one of the similarities that we also share within IMT-GT is that the 3 countries, Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, are similar in terms of our economic development. So, I see that there's a lot of similarities, a lot of ideas, and even the challenges, if you can see from the panel, are quite similar in terms of what each 3 countries are facing. So, we're trying to see how we can use our IMT-GT platform as a mechanism that could assist in further promoting some of the initiatives that maybe some of the countries may feel a bit lacking in other platforms that they are pursuing. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the explanations. I believe we need to cut short the dialogue until here, because it's 5 minutes before noon, lunchtime. So I pass back the floor to the MC. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator, and all the speakers for the active participation and thoughtful question. And please still remain on the stage for the token of appreciation. And may I now invite Mr. Amri, the Director of CIMT, to present the token of appreciation, please. First, to Mr. Severinus Duka. Next, Mr. Trin Pong Petra. Next, Dr. Kuntoro Boga Andri. And next, Dr. Musdalifa Mahmood. And thank you once again to our panelists and participants for the engaging discussions. And may I now ask the staff to prepare the stage for the next session, please. And you may return to your seat. Thank you very much. Okay, to wrap up our discussions, we now invite Mr. Amri Bukhairi Bakhtia, the Director of CIMT, to share a brief reflections on the panel discussion and way forward. Mr. Amri, please.
Thank you, Kakungkap, to the MC. So, honorable distinguished guests, colleagues, esteemed participants, I have the difficult job of summarizing and trying to reflect on some of the discussion that we had today. First of all, I'd like to express our deepest appreciation to our panelists and moderators. I think today gave a lot of insights in terms of the work and the potential of cooperation between the countries. So I'd like to invite everyone to give a round of applause to our distinguished panelists and speakers. And you know, I really appreciated the inputs I provided. I mean, allow me to highlight that, you know, because in the IMT-GT platform, we focus on multiple sectors. So we're not an expert on any particular sector. And we don't tend to claim to. But we want to be the convergence where policymakers and experts such as yourselves could have a platform where you can, you know, try to identify issues that we hope that we can facilitate in terms of how we move forward. So for session one, I think we delve into the complexities of the palm oil sustainability standards, exploring the crucial role of, I don't like to use the harmonizing, but maybe streamlining the sustainability standards across the IMT-GT subregion. So I think speakers underscored the shared challenges that countries face, from legal compliance, traceability, of course, to market access, and international regulations. And of course, when you talk about that, of course, you cannot run away from EUDR. I think, but within these challenges, there are opportunities to come together and to have a regional approach. I think Dr. Herajat called for harmonizing sustainability standards, which I think we much welcome. He emphasized the importance of aligning these standards, which could not only enhance the global competitiveness in the IMT-GT subregion, but also ensure that our palm oil practices are legally sound, environmentally responsible, and socially inclusive. Dr. Serena, of course, gives a lot of insights as well, particularly in supply chain traceability and what IOI is doing on that front. And I think that resonated, I think, with a lot of you in the room. She described challenges such as, you know, mapping the indirect sources of palm oil, bridging the technology gaps, which are not just, should not be seen as obstacles really, but also as stepping stones for us to really rise up and meet the global requirements and demands, which of course leads to greater market accessibility. The traceability tools she introduced, the risk assessment systems were quite interesting, reminded us that technology is a great ally in us building transparency, of course, further protecting the environment and fostering accountability in every stage of the palm oil supply chain. Mr. Hafiz from MSPO demonstrated the importance of clear, credible framework. I think he touched upon the importance of alignment, instead of harmonization, particularly the need for all the different standards to coexist. What is important is the alignment with global standards, which of course will help us in market access. I think it was also touched upon by the panel in terms of the definition, in terms of how we define forests and other legal connotation that of course will impact the palm oil sector through the different platforms that we have, the importance of sharing information, and as well one important component is stakeholder engagement, which I think everyone agrees upon is a crucial component in us moving forward and bringing value to the local smallholders. As we move into session 2, I think we focus on empowering the smallholders, which are crucial players who manage vast portions of land but often lack resources to meet certification standards. We heard from Kuntrin, I think provided good insights on the challenges faced by smallholders, which form a majority, of course, in Thailand compared to Indonesia and Malaysia. The importance of engaging them and giving them the benefits. I think you mentioned in regards to some of them who are certified receive 50% more income compared to those who are not. Pak Kuntoro, I think, also shared us in terms of to focus on policy framework. I think that's a very interesting proposal to facilitate smallholder inclusion and access to markets. So I think by developing a sub-regional traceability system, I think is what he mentioned, and investing in training and capacity building as well as financial support, we can ensure that these smallholders are not left behind and empowered to take part in the sustainable palm oil movement. I think certainly this is some of the things that as chair of the PIT could be something we can discuss within the platform of the PIT. And of course, Dr. Mus Dalifa from CIPOPSI gave us her insights as well based on her experience. I think her proposal for a joint IMT-GT smallholders empowerment roadmap is very interesting in terms of streamlining the policies, the certification, as well as creating blended financing mechanisms. So I think that's quite useful. And again, something that probably we can also discuss as part of the work of the PIT. So as we look ahead, I think we should seize the momentum generated by this, touching upon again that we don't intend to replicate or duplicate any other mechanisms which are already in place. What we feel that IMT-GT can provide is to become a bridge, become a convener of some of these initiatives, which may not or may fail or has a stumbling block in terms of being promoted in other platforms. I think this provides a space where there are similar interests, there are similar economic profile. So I think a lot of details and similarities which you share between the three countries, which can, I think, become a good basis for collaboration, particularly in the palm oil sector. So I think with that, we let us embrace this responsibility. We feel that a lot of the inputs provided here will provide great inputs to the work of the PIT on Palm Oil Corporation, which is an existing platform that we have, working closely, of course, with the working group on agriculture. So with that, again, I'd like to thank all panelists, all moderators for your contribution and inputs, as well as those who are present here, as well as online, for your presence and for your participation in this dialogue. We hope to build upon a lot from this initiative, and hopefully we'll see you again in the near future. So I wish everyone a safe flight back for those who are returning, and we'll see you tomorrow for the working group on Agriculture meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Amri, for those concluding reflections. Now, to officially close today's dialogue, we now invite once again Ms. Praya Sawet Jinda, Chair of IMT-GT WGAA, to deliver the closing remarks, please.
Distinguished delegates, speakers, and participants, ladies and gentlemen, as we come to the close of today's dialogue on sustainable palm oil supply chain in the IMT-GT Subregion, I would like to extend my heartfelt appreciation to you, all of you, for your active participation and thoughtful insights and shared commitment to strengthening the future of our palm oil sector. Our discussion today have indeed shed the light on both the challenges and opportunity that lies ahead of us, whether it is harmonizing sustainability standards, building traceability system to the empowering the smallholders and enhancing regional cooperation. These are the complex but vital issues that require continued collaboration, mutual trust, and strong partnership among all stakeholders. I would like to express my sincere appreciation to the CIMT for their initiative in convening this platform, which will provide valuable insights that will support more concrete and coordinated actions in the PIT Future Work Plan. With shared visions and collective actions, we can shape a more inclusive, resilient, and competitive palm oil supply chain in the IMT-GT subregions. Thank you once again for the person who will participating the 18 IMT-GT WGAA tomorrow. I'm looking forward to working with you closely tomorrow. But for person who is flying home today or tonight, I wish you a safe journey home and continued success in your respective efforts. ขอบคุณค่ะ Terima kasih. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Praya, and thank you to all participants and speakers for your contributions. This concludes the dialogue on sustainable palm oil supply chain in the IMT-GT subregion, and we look forward to more collaboration in the future. Now, I believe that everyone is hungry and it's time for lunch. So make sure that before you proceed to the restaurant, just collect the lunch coupon at the registration desk and please proceed to the Patumat restaurant. For the one who stay here, it's the same as your breakfast this morning. And just walk straight to the lobby, turn left, and then the restaurant will be on your right. Thank you very much and enjoy your lunch.